Archies. Today's assignment is the Claim Evidence Reasoning Music Activity. This is a play off what we did yesterday with the candy activity. So if you were gone yesterday and haven't done the candy activity yet and done the notes, I would highly suggest you guys do those first. Otherwise, you guys are going to be kind of skipping a step and maybe losing a part of how you guys do these correctly. And this is going to be something we do a lot during the year, so it's important that you guys get it. Okay, your learning targets for today: I can answer a question using a claim. I can use proper evidence to support my claim. Again, your notes yesterday really talk about what evidence is and what evidence is not. For instance, evidence is not an opinion. It's not an explanation. Evidence is, however, detailed, specific, has data either in the form of numbers or observations. It's detailed, it's descriptions, okay? Maybe it's text or facts, okay? So make sure you guys go over there as you guys think about what you're doing today. And then finally, I can tie my evidence to my claim by explaining my reasoning. For your bell ringer today, you guys have slides 2 and 3. You guys have 2 CER examples that you're going to read, and you're going to identify 2 things that could be done better, okay, that aren't really meeting our criteria for our CERs, and one thing that's really great about the CER. So your first example: it is observed that Skittles have a hard candy shell. This proves that more people enjoy Skittles because of their satisfying crunch. According to the evidence, they also had the most votes in the class as to the favorite candy of all 6 that we tried. This proves they are the best candy because more people in general prefer to eat them. Okay, so go ahead, take a second, pause this video, reread if you need, rethink about this CER, and I want to identify 2 things that this author could use to strengthen the CER, or something maybe that they're missing. Okay, and then what is one thing that they did really well at? So again, take a second, pause this video, answer this question, and come on back. Okay, so when we look at this CER, remember we're using this to answer the question, which is the best candy? Remember that your claim is the simple sentence that answers that question, and I don't see that claim here. It should be the very first sentence. I can assume that they're talking about Skittles being the best, but again, it's not written there. Okay, so that's one thing that really is missing from the CER, is that first sentence describing the answer to the question, which candy is the best. Okay, that's one thing I would do to strengthen it. Another one is, if you guys read, this proves that more, so it says, observe that Skittles have a hard candy shell. That's a great piece of evidence. I would say thumbs up on that one. This proves that more people enjoy Skittles because of their satisfying crunch. I would say that's good reasoning. Okay, and then according to the evidence, they also had the most votes in the class as to the favorite candy of all 6 that we tried. My question there would be to prove it. Okay, what proof do you have that that's true? So this is a good piece of data, but it's just not a full piece of data. So I would say they could use numbers and say, you know, there was 18 votes for Skittles versus none for any other candy. Okay, so I would throw some numbers in to strengthen that piece of data. So that's one, the second thing I would do. Okay, this proves that they are the best candy because more people in general prefer to eat them. I think both of those pieces of reasoning are good. I think the first piece of evidence is really good. So any of those could be this strength piece right there. Your guys' second CER: Sour Patch Kids are the best candy. They are the tastiest sour candy and regular candy. There we go. This is important because if they are the tastiest, it means that they will be bought most frequently. Out of all the class data, Sour Patch Kids received 32 votes. The next closest was Skittles with only 24 votes. This data proves that more people like Sour Patch Kids over all of the other candies. Okay, so again, take a second, pause this video, and then go answer your questions, 2 strengths or 2 weaknesses and 1 strength about this CER. Okay, so if you guys are tuning back in, you guys notice that our very first sentence answers our question, which is the best candy. Sour Patch Kids are the best candy. Okay, if we look at our first piece of evidence, they are the tastiest sour candy over regular candy. Okay, I would put on there that that is an opinion, and we know that evidence should never be an opinion. Okay, this is important because if they are the tastiest, it means it will be the bought most frequently. I'd say that's a fairly decent piece of reasoning, although our claim doesn't talk about which is sold more. Okay, out of all the class data, Sour Patch Kids received 32 votes. I love that that piece of data has a number involved in it, and it also has a comparison. The next closest was Skittles with only 24 votes. So it gives us an idea how good is 32 votes versus 24. If it was like 31 versus 32 votes, then maybe that isn't the best margin. Okay, this data proves that more people like Sour Patch Kids over all the other candies. Okay, so again, you guys can kind of review what was good and what was bad about that. Moving on, some examples for you guys. This is a good example of a CER. The question that we're answering here, what evidence is there to support the theory of plate tectonics, which is going to be something we talk about in this school year. The claim, there are many factors that contribute to the theory of plate tectonics. Okay, evidence, plate tectonics is how Earth's surface moves over time. Earth's crust is broken up into plates that float along the mantle. Based on what I have read, the theory of plate tectonics can be proved by the amount of volcanic and seismic activity that occurs at the plate's boundaries. Another factor that proves the theory is that identical fossils, landforms, and rock formations have been found on separate continents. Your final part is the reasoning. This data proves that Earth's crust is moving slowly over time. This is important because it shows how Earth's plates have moved great distances, collided, and spread apart throughout history. This can help us better understand Earth's past. Again, that reasoning should help us support the claim that there are many factors that contribute to the theory of plate tectonics. Okay, so that's a really good example. Obviously, we would put those all together to form one paragraph. Okay, so today's assignment is going to be looking at different music. So what you guys have here is 2 links. You guys are going to right click and open each of those links. And a video on YouTube is going to pop up for you guys. If you know the song, you can kind of listen for a couple minutes. If you don't know the song, listen to the whole song and make your decision from there. So the first one is Happy by Pharrell. Okay, and the second link right here, we go ahead, right click and open that up. It's going to be the Black Eyed Peas. And the song is I Got a Feeling. So again, if you don't know it, listen to the whole thing. If you do know it, okay? And what you guys are going to do is we're going to kind of go through this example, okay? We're not going to do any voting in class on this one, but I might say, I think that Happy is the best song, okay? Remember that anytime you guys do evidence, you need 2 to 3 pieces of evidence, okay? So first one, I would say, could just be like a description of the song. Happy is a very upbeat, positive song, okay? The second one, I want you guys to get some actual data. So this is where our good friend ChatGPT or AI is going to come into play, or you guys can just use Google, whatever you guys choose to do. So I pulled up my ChatGPT and I asked it, can you provide me data as to which song is most popular? Is it Happy by Pharrell or I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas? So I asked for specific data. This is really great, and like I said, I don't necessarily want you guys to take it, just copy and paste all of this, but this is a great way to collect data, and I would highly encourage you guys to use AI for something like this. Just remember, you need to put it into your own words. So we've got a lot of data that this shot back to me, and I think it's great. I could look at sales. I Got a Feeling has sold an impressive 8.7 million digital copies in the US, earning a certification equivalent to the 15 times platinum. Okay, Happy, 6.9 million digital copies. So there's one piece of evidence that shows us I Got a Feeling is the more popular song. Okay, global sales, we've got 17.7 million units worldwide. Okay, but Happy was most successful globally in 2014 with 13.9 million sold. Okay, so if you guys look at that, the numbers seem different, but we're talking about globally versus worldwide. Okay, but so this one was just for the year of release. So 2014 was when it was most popular, but overall this one had the most. So you guys kind of had 2 pieces of data there, one that supports I Got a Feeling and one that supports Happy. Okay, another one, chart records and long-term impact. I Got a Feeling was dominated the top 100 for 14 weeks, making it a big hit of the 2000. It also earned a spot as number 5 on the decade end chart. So for the whole 2000, that whole decade of 10 years, it was number 5 and number 8 on the all-time Hot 100 chart. So those are both really high numbers for that. Happy, however, top charts in over 20 countries. So maybe not America per se, but in 20 other countries. It was the best-selling song in the United States and the UK in just 2014. Most downloaded song in the UK in 2014. and then ranking 9th among UK's most all-time best-selling singles. So some good data there for Happy. And additionally, in the UK, Happy topped the list of most played songs on the radio and television since 2010. Okay, we got kind of a summary here. Got some different ideas there, what you guys can use. So you might just need to tweak your CER just a little bit. I think Happy is the best song in 2014. Okay, Happy is very upbeat, positive song. And then I want to throw some data in there. So I'm going to go to my chat GTP and say it was #1 in 20 plus countries in 2014. So it was #1 in 20 plus countries in 2014. Okay, so that means it ranked over the other one, sorry. And then you're going to go ahead and do your reasoning for this and explain why that's important. So because Happy is so upbeat, it makes the listeners feel positive too. Okay. And then I would go on and do some reasoning about the #1 in 20 plus countries in 2014. Okay, so maybe I'd even say, while it's not overall the best song in 2014, man, it was the jam. Okay, so what you guys are going to do then for your assignment today is you guys have 8 different songs here. Okay, you're going to choose 4 of them. So you're going to choose 2 decades. So we have 2 songs from the 2000s. Okay, you guys have 2 songs from the 1990s, 2 songs from the 1980s, and 2 songs from the 1970s. What you guys are going to do is take your phone, you're going to scan the QR codes, you're going to listen to them. Again, if you don't know them, listen to the whole song. If you do know them, listen to a little bit of it until you guys kind of get the feel. And then you guys are going to choose what song you think is best. Okay. We will have information in class that's voted upon, so you guys can get that when you come back. That could be part of your data if you choose to use that. You guys can use a description of the song, but what everyone must include is some kind of research, okay, that gives you guys some data evidence, some numerical evidence to prove for one of your guys' pieces of evidence. So you can use a description, you can use class voting, but you have to use that research. You guys are going to choose 2 out of the 4 decades to do. So you're going to do maybe the 2000s and the 80s, or you can do the 2000s and the 90s, or the 80s and the 70s, or the 70s and the 2000s, whatever, choose 2. On the next 2 slides, you guys are going to fill out your data for those 2. So 2 are going to be left blank. Maybe it's the 90s and the 2000s, but on slide 8, you're going to do this whole slide. Okay. All of them are structured the same. So what's your claim? Which song out of that decade is the best? Okay, what's your evidence piece #1 and your evidence piece #2? Remember that one of those pieces has to be research. Okay, so make sure you guys make that modification as well. And then if you have 2 pieces of evidence, you should have kind of 2 pieces of reasoning. So 2 statements that explain why evidence piece #1 supports the claim and why evidence piece #2 supports the claim. Okay, so you guys will go through, fill out your guys' 2 research clues there. Okay, and then you guys will go ahead out of all 8 of those songs. So even though you're not writing a CER for all 8 of them, make sure you guys check out all 8 of them and check out the voting for all 8 of them. I'll keep those in class for you guys to see. Okay, you guys are going to write your all-time favorite, just kind of like we did with the candy. What's the all-time best one? Write your 1-sentence claim here. What's the best song? Okay, your evidence #1, your evidence #2. Again, one of these should be research-based. Okay, you can use AI for that as long as you're using your own words. And then what's your reasoning for evidence 1 and 2? Then what you guys are going to do is you're going to take all of those sentences and starting with your claim, your sentences on slide 10 through 11, you're going to put them together to form one scientific argument here. So it's going to be one paragraph. Make sure it flows, make sure it's cohesive. So you might need to edit some of those sentences. And you're going to eventually develop a whole paragraph here. Your guys' claim, evidence, and reasoning on 10, 11, and 12 need to be complete sentences. So when you put them together in your paragraph, it makes sense here. Okay, your guys' CERs on 8 and 9 don't necessarily have to be complete sentences. You guys can kind of do little shortened sentences or just statements in and of itself. Okay, finally, your guys' exit ticket for today. You guys have a claim, evidence, and a reasoning. And then down here, you guys have a bunch of cards, okay? There's going to be 3 cards that go to each subject. So what you're going to do is kind of read through them. Like, for instance, there's 3 cards on friction. Of those 3 little cards, one of them is going to be the claim, one of them is going to be the evidence, and one of them is going to be the reasoning. So you guys are going to identify those 3 cards that all revolve around the same topic, like earthquakes. Then you're going to identify which one's the claim about earthquakes, which one's the evidence about that CER about earthquakes, and then which one's the reasoning. Okay, you guys will go ahead and sort them so they're together, so all the friction ones would line up. Okay, claim, evidence, and reasoning. All the earthquake ones would line up, claim, evidence, and reasoning, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's going to be your guys' CER. With that being said, that's the end of your assignment for today. Make sure you guys let it save before you exit out. Okay, then go ahead, exit out, hand it in. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Make sure to come check out that voting in class, and I will talk to you later. Bye.